All right, welcome back to another edition of Horseman Pro Football Talk podcast. I am Brad.
And I'm Hefe.
All right, next game, Steelers at Colts. The Colts played their ass off yesterday. They played their f***ing ass off. And Jeff Saturday has them believing. Now, how long he can keep this up, I don't know. But whatever they're doing is working. They looked good. They made mistakes. They looked real good. The only problem with that game yesterday was red zone conversion. They convert one of those 3 field goals to a touchdown. We're not even having this conversation. I mean, well, we're having it, but it's different. On the other hand, the Eagles showed that they do need to be in the conversation for one of the best teams in the league because they were beaten. And your young quarterback just put another notch in his belt. He walked right down the field and scored like it mattered. They handled the clock well on that drive. They did everything they needed to do to put the Colts in a position where they couldn't win. That is not on the Colts. That is on the Eagles. Kudos to the Eagles. They made it happen. Kudos to the Colts for even being in the conversation and being in a position to win in the end, considering what they've been through. What this game, the Colts game this weekend, you know what the difference is? The Steelers aren't the fucking Eagles. They are not going to put together that drive and come down and score like that. Not going to happen. So, all things being equal, this should be no contest. Now, I don't know we do have to talk about what the Steelers did on Sunday, right? Just came out of nowhere. But maybe this is bias. And I tease you about your Colts bias all the time. I like to think that I have like an unbiased opinion. I'm admitting maybe I have a biased opinion. You know, I wasn't real happy with the Saturday pick. I thought it was a PR move. But then we talked about maybe he's like the Larry Bird thing when they brought him in the Pacers late 90s. Maybe he just come in to blow him up. You know, that whole John Gruden thing in Tampa. Blow him up, push him over the top because they got so much talent. It's working. And I see that it's working. And I really think the Colts are going to win this one outright. And I don't think it'll be close. I don't think it's going to be an ass whipping. The Steelers are still tough. No matter how bad they are, the Steelers are still tough to play. But we're not in Pittsburgh. We're in Indy. And now I do have to say, again, a word of caution. This Saturday experiment and the play calling experiment, all that is a Cinderella story. Well, Cinderella stories are Cinderella stories because you don't expect them to get to where they've gone. This could die at any moment. We all need to be on guard that the Steelers come in here and could just bust the Colts up all over the place, and the Colts could lose the rest of their games. I don't have any idea. But from what I've seen the last 2 weeks, he's got them energized, and there's so much talent. Did you find the spread?
I did. The Colts are 3-point favorites.
Boy, that's interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think it'll be bigger than that. I think the Colts win by 10 to 14 points.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good bet, because like you were talking about, the way the Colts play, like losing sucks. Like I'm very competitive. Like I hate losing more than I like winning. Like losing fucking sucks. And so while the loss yesterday sucked, especially when you're in the lead for 59 out of the 60 minutes and you end up losing that game. But the fact, like the way you play the game matters, the way you win matters, the way you lose matters. And the way they lost that game, like it was a dogfight. And what I thought was crucial, obviously it's not just a couple plays in the game. Like you got to execute all game long. But what we're dealing with right now, the offensive line's been better, but the issue in the game against the Eagles was that you had a rookie left tackle in his second year, but first-year starter at right guard, and the right guard gets 3 penalties in the game, a couple false starts. The left tackle gets false start and holding in the game at crucial points. You talk about the field goal that was missed by Chase McLaughlin, like that's closer if there isn't a holding call that happens before that. So, it was just self-inflicted wounds. And I think that's what you can take away from that game is that if the Colts don't have the self-inflicted wounds, they win that game. Like even not executing right and getting touchdowns in the red zone, if they don't get those penalties in those crucial moments, they're able to get another field goal, another 2 field goals, and they still are able to win that game. So it's just small execution and the accountability that has been talked about in that building since Jeff Saturday came in gives me the confidence that they'll get those things right with these young guys that are in the lineup. They'll get things right, and they've kept it simple. That he's been preaching, keeping it simple. You just got to not be predictable when you're keeping it simple. So I think they get those things righted, especially in a game against the Steelers coming up. Even though the Steelers were able to get things looking better against the Bengals, but I kind of chalk that up to being a division game. Division games are always different. I thought that would be closer than other people were expecting it to, and it was. But this game, I expect the Colts to come in, execute better, especially on primetime football. People, for all you want to say about the 2021 Carson Wentz Colts, 2022 Matt Ryan Colts, the Colts in these primetime games have looked very good over the last 2 seasons. I expect them to dominate the Steelers here.
Yep. All right. We're in agreement, and I'm looking forward to it.